Welcome back to another drawing tutorial, everybody. Today I wanted to talk about ears. We're continuing this series of human features, and ears are as unique as fingerprints to everyone. So I'm going to share with you some details, and I'm also going to share some generic ideas to aid your own drawings and observations. But as ever, let's start with a shape library today. So we're going to need a bean shape. I trust everybody can draw a trapezoid. I hope you're all familiar with gummy worms and, of course, circles. Now, it's not like I'm going to give you a test or anything, but I think it might help to label some of the parts of an ear. So I've laid in that bean shape and I put in a circle, and I'm using that to kind of highlight this area around the rim known as the helix. You can see also the tragus there, that bump going inward, the concha, the antitragus, etc. So here it is again, just a little bit larger and just kind of laying things in a little bit more detail so you can see what an actual ear should more or less look like rendered in lines. Note that lobes change based on genetics, whether attached, detached, or some kind of hybrid of both. There's a shorthand that I often use for ears when I'm drawing them personally, specifically for illustration, so I don't have to resort to all these hyper specifics. For instance, here's a Simpsons ear. That's as generic and abstract as it gets. Mine is a little bit more complex. I start with that bean shape, and then rather than using a circle, I just create an internal line to outline the helix, and then I'm creating these bumps and features that I'll shade in to give it a sense of depth and contour. However, the one thing I'm always hearing about from students is drawing ears in the oblique, i.e. from behind. And a lot of artists struggle with this viewpoint. I think it's actually easier than drawing an ear as we've just done. So I'm going to draw a head from behind here. And this is where our trapezoids are going to come back in. I'm going to do one large on the side here. So I've got this trapezoid I'm enlarging. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a gummy worm and we're just going to stretch it over the edge of that trapezoid. What I'm going to do from here is continue that gummy worm shape wrapping around. If it helps to think of this as like a tire or an inner tube wrapped around a bike rim, that's also very useful. Now, seen from the front in the oblique, I'm using my modified Loomis method. I've got that video posted as a related video if you need to watch that one to catch up on heads. But what I point out in that video is that this intersection of the circle and the jaw is a perfect placement for ears. So I'm putting the trapezoids in again. And here is an ear seen from the front. You can see that gummy worm shape as it loops around. Creating notches like these are a great way to convey depth, momentum, movement, and there's the ear enlarged. So to recap, ears are unique to the individual, and apart from intense observation for hyper-specific photorealistic drawings, see Dylan Eakin if you haven't, there's a lot of room for shorthand in what we're doing here. Always start with basic shapes or primitives, and always work general to specific. And most important of all, have fun. See you again soon.